Hi, Student Success. This is your video for week 5 of the semester already. So we are in our 8-week session over the halfway point now, since we only have 4 more weeks to go. So this is, as always, I'm going to start off with a reminder to complete your student services assignment. So we still have time, but we are approaching the end of our semester. Again, this is an 8-week course, so we just have a few more weeks left. So you want to make sure that you're going in particular to your MyStark State. Yep, gonna log me out. To your MyStark State, and look under Academic Support, Student Success Workshops, and take a look at your offerings. So we're now past the first little chunk of them here, but you want to start looking to see what's going to be going on in late September through early to mid-October. See what kind of looks interesting to you or that could serve to your advantage this semester, and register. It'll take you to Handshake to register, and that's where the actual workshop will be as well. Remember, to get points for the assignment, I need your completion certificate, not the fact that you signed up, because I need to know that you actually attended, and you get that after you're finished with that workshop. Again, you do have until the end of week 8, but I always like to remind students to make sure that you're looking ahead and thinking ahead on that. All right, so we're going to go ahead and scroll down here. We are going to be in week 5. Week 5 runs from the 27th of September to October 3rd. So we're going to go ahead and click in here. And this is chapter 11, and you can see, maybe with a sigh of relief, that there are only 2 assignments this week. So I know the last several weeks in particular have been pretty heavy on assignments. This week is a little lighter, so hopefully that helps you out a little bit. There's also no discussion forum this week. So your week 5 attendance is based on completing both assignments by Sunday. So that means if you only complete one or the other, you obviously miss the points for that assignment, but you also only get a 50% attendance grade. So if you submit one but not both, you get 50% toward your attendance. If you submit both by Sunday, you get 100% attendance. So just keep that in mind. There is no discussion forum, just submitting both of those assignments. So this week is over chapter 11 on finances. So I'm just going to kind of pull this up. There are no slides for this particular chapter. Instead, I'm just going to talk about what's inside the chapter and give you some suggestions and areas to kind of look at. So I think finance is an area that no matter what point of your life you are in, it's important to evaluate and be thinking of and looking at how you're managing and how well it's going. Whether you're still in high school, fresh out of high school, middle of your college, or you're in your career, constantly looking at your finances is an important piece to your overall success. So as always, there's kind of that beginning of the chapter assessment, just kind of knowing about your knowledge and attitudes, goals that you have with your financial, knowledge and where you want to be with that, and the goals of the chapter itself. So this goes through kind of the different issues that different types of students may have. So if you are a younger student, a CCP student, or you're newly graduated from high school, versus if you're more non-traditional, meaning that you have been in the workforce for a while, or maybe you're a little bit older, you have a family, you have a job somewhere. So you're obviously going to have different kind of money issues, money concerns, and things like that. So this chapter likes to at least address the fact that depending on where you are in your life, things will look different. So the next section talks about making sure that you set your goals to match realities, and how you can be kind of looking at spending less, making more. So thinking about your financial goals. And so this kind of goes through like a little scenario if you wanted to go through and read that and see what the conflict is and how it could be resolved. And then this section, depending on, again, who you are, you may want to spend some more time on this. If you know that spending is an issue, how could you spend less and, conserve your money? Which leads to the next section about making money. So, different jobs while you're in college, how those can be beneficial or how they can be almost detrimental to your time in college. Now, this is a weird time in our society because of COVID, and it almost seems like there's a lot of jobs available, but not the right kind of jobs. So just kind of going about that job search is a little difficult right now because of that. But here are things you want to kind of keep in mind because you are a college student. If you're looking to get a part-time job or a full-time job or a student job, working with your schedule, working with your needs, and being able to kind of fit everything in that you need to. Now, we do have in a normal semester student jobs on campus. I think the offerings right now are a little smaller than normal, but you will sometimes see those posted in My Stark State, or you'll see them around campus if that's something that you're interested in. A lot of people like that option because it allows you to make a little extra money, but also keeps you close to campus so that you're more connected to the campus and you're kind of there more often, being able to get things done. So this section kind of just talks about those different possibilities as it relates to working as a student. Now, there's a lot of research that says when you're a college student, the ideal number of hours that you should be working, and this is statistics, this is not a rule for everyone, is around 20 hours. Because if you're working less than that or not at all, you might have too much time and find yourself procrastinating. If you're working more than that, you might be overwhelmed and not have enough time. And so statistically, 20 hours is kind of the sweet spot while you're a student. Now, again, that's not going to fit every situation. Some people need to work more. Some people are okay working less. But just something to think about and knowing your own limits and kind of balancing that need again for your income and your time. The next section really focuses in again on spending less. So again, if you're the kind of person who needs to look at this, I think that this is important regardless, to be quite honest. Every few months, I kind of do a cost analysis. I sit and really look at my spreadsheets and see, okay, well, how much have utilities been on average the past couple months? How much have we spent on, maybe going out to eat? How much have we spent on kids' activities? So that I can look to see where is our money going and where can we afford to maybe stop spending so much or, play around with where our money is going. Kind of like you would take an analysis of your time. Same thing, take an analysis of your money. So this is what this right here kind of asks you to do. And it says the last 30 days. You could even do it in a smaller increment of time, a week even. And just look to see how much money you're spending per week or per month on each of these areas so that you can kind of look and see, do I really need to be spending money on, this many coffees, every week or month or whatever the case is. So look to see where your money is going. And so based on that, it's going to go into kind of essentials and necessities and how to kind of look at that balance. So again, if that's something that is beneficial to you, if you think that's what you need to focus in on, I encourage you to spend more time on this section in particular. But regardless, I really do think it's important to kind of look at that financial piece, where your money's going. Here are some tips on spending less. Again, this is another thing where every few months, even I kind of think like, okay, do I have any cost saving tips that I can kind of put into place? As my kids age and get older, they're involved in more and they eat a whole heck of a lot more. Looking to see how can I be using my money more wisely. Managing a budget. Making a budget is easy, to be honest. It's following the budget. So this section talks about, managing your budget, tracking your income and your expenses, and how you can set that up to be successful. So again, I encourage you to take a look more in depth there. And then this captures in part of the student aspect as well, looking at that and thinking to all these different things. So I like this section of the book because it really, even pet food, it really breaks it down a lot. So this would be a nice template if anyone is trying to maybe start a budget or look for a new way to keep track of a budget. This one gives you some great ideas on what to look at monthly. This section talks about balancing your budget, different ways to do that, and what to do if it's not working. I do have to say, I have a friend who, when he heard that I balanced my checkbook still, he was quite surprised because he doesn't balance a checkbook. And to me, that was surprising, but I guess it makes sense. Now, a lot of people don't write checks anymore, and I don't necessarily either, but I still have my checkbook that I record all my transactions in, and I just think it helps you be aware of what's going on with your finances. So even if you don't do like a traditional checkbook, checking your account every day, I don't know, something that I was surprised to find out that not everyone does. And so just kind of a little tip for that as well as saving information. This next section here we go, it talks about credit cards. And so just, again, depending on where you are with your finances, you may not have any credit cards out, you may have several. So learning about the best kind of credit cards to take out for your needs, which ones to apply for, how to not get in trouble with credit cards, because that can add up very quickly. And quite honestly, there was a time where like credit companies were very predatory with younger college students, because it was a way to get money fast and easy, and then it really kind of put them in the hole in the future. But now I think it's a little better, where there are cards designed specifically for college students, where the limits are low, but it allows you to start establishing credit. And this section goes through kind of making sure that you are doing yourself a favor when it comes to that credit. So speaking of credit history and reports, one thing I like to encourage my students to do is just go to Google and type in free credit estimator. And if you get ads, you can skip buying, but the first one you want to go to that's not an ad is this free FICO score at myfico.com. If you don't know your credit score already, you do not have to put in any personal information, your name, social, nothing. It is literally just going to ask you a series of questions. I'm just going to like real quickly click through here. I am not going to even read them. Obviously, you will want to read them. And then when you get through all of them, it's going to give you your estimated credit score, okay? So your estimated credit score. And so that's helpful to know if you don't know already. That's a nice little tool to have. It's free, it's an estimation, and you're not giving any information personally out. So that's important to know, because your credit history is going to help decide whether you're able to take out a car loan, a home loan. You know, it's going to decide a lot of things for you. So knowing your credit history, your credit report, and your credit score is really helpful as you plan ahead. So knowing your credit history, knowing your credit score, how to be safe with your financial identity online. There's a little case study here. And it's also going to talk about like just building up your credit, you know, like making sure that you're making payments. One simple, easy way to build credit now, even as a young student, is if you have student loans, go ahead and start paying on them now. It can be $10 a month, but after 6 months, you've established a credit history, and it allows you to kind of start building that credit score. You can also get a utility in your name. That can help you. So there's little things, taking out a low limit credit card and only putting maybe your gas every month on it, and then paying, you know, more than the minimum at the end of every month whenever it's due. So little things to help build your credit. All right, and the last section talks about financing college. So the difference between different kinds of ways to pay for school. You know, scholarships and grants, you do not have to pay those back. Loans, you have to, usually about 6 months after you graduate, and then work study programs. So most of you've already gone through the FAFSA process. Unless you're a CCP, then you probably did not have to do anything like that, or your parents, you know, took care of it. But FAFSA is something that as a college student you're going to be familiar with, because you have to fill it out every single year. And then that can help you determine whether you're going to get scholarships, loans, grants. Obviously, you want to take out more scholarships and grants if you can, because you don't have to pay those back. If you can't, though, you want to know the terms of your student loans and know if they're subsidized or unsubsidized. And so this section talks about that right here, so you know the difference, how much you should borrow and, you know, expect a return on in different work study programs. Something I also like to make sure all my students are aware of, at the Stark State homepage, under admissions, paying for college, scholarships. Sometimes money here at the college literally just sits there waiting for students to apply. The scholarship application is really quick and easy. So you can see that there is a scholarship list. If I click on that, and it's going to give me a list of all the different types of scholarships here at the college. You can see we have featured scholarships, and if you click down, you can see kind of the requirements, as well as if there's a link to go to that particular scholarship if it's not right in here. There's degree-related scholarships, and there's scholarships for particular populations, okay? So if you're interested, there's also just a button right here, scholarship application. Guys, look how quick this is. This is it. Right here. That's it. And it's going to tell you what scholarships you could potentially be qualified for. Now, there are some scholarships, like external scholarships, where it's going to ask you to fill out a longer application and potentially even essay. Now, some students don't think it's worth their time to do an essay, but honestly, if it takes you a couple hours to write an essay and you get $1,000, I think that's time well spent. So I encourage you to take a look at that, because why not? Like I said, sometimes the money is just sitting there. So again, as always, I encourage you to take a look at the chapter, spend time where you feel like you need the most attention. So now we're going to go ahead and look to our 2 assignments. We have 2 assignments this week. The first one is the Basics of Money Management assignment. So it is an assignment directly related to Chapter 11 because it deals with like money management, finances, and things like that. So you're actually going to, you can download the PDF if you wanted to. Here are the directions on what you're going to do, but I'm also going to walk you through it. So you can have the printed version if you wanted it. All of this work is actually going to take place in this website. So you're going to click on Ohio Means Jobs. It's going to take you to this page right here. You'll scroll down just a little bit and you're going to click on Basics of Money Management. Give my computer a minute. It's been a long day. We're going to go here. We're going to start. I'm going to click right up there. I'm going to click on the Basics of Money Management. All right, here it is. So this is the course. You can see when you kind of click here, Unit 1, there are 4 lessons, and you'll just kind of like click through, and a lot of it is just one quick little page that you're going to read. So you'll kind of click through. There's lesson 2. Once I get all the way through all of my tabs, you'll see that at the very bottom, there is a post test. Now there's a summary, course summary. So again, once you've gone through all of these links here, you're going to go to the post test and you will take the post test. So you'll answer these questions. Make sure that you go next. You make sure you answer all the questions. There's 10 questions. After you've answered all your questions, make sure you click Score Your Test. Okay. Once you've done and you've clicked Score Your Test, I'm going to use this as an example. It's going to pop up kind of your results and your certification. You're going to type in your name when it pops up, and you're going to get like a PDF document like this. And you're going to, and this walks you through the saving process, you are going to save the file to your documents, to your desktop, wherever it's going to go. And then you're going to upload it into the Dropbox. Okay, so once you're done, you are going to score your test, get your certificate here. It'll pop up, you'll put your name in there, download and save that certificate, and then this is where you will upload it right here in this area. You'll browse and you'll find it. Okay, so again, all the work is done in this site, but you want to make sure you complete the little test here, score your test, get your certificate, save it somewhere to your device, and then upload it in the Dropbox. Okay, and as I mentioned, the directions, if you need them written out, it goes step by step right here. So if you wanted those this way, that can be helpful to you as well, along with the video. There's also, you can see, there's a real quick little video that our course coordinator put in, and it says silent. There's no sound to it. There's a quick video you can watch that also walks you through this assignment. So a couple different ways to make sure you know how to get that done. Okay, so just make sure you upload that. That is due by Sunday the 3rd for part of your attendance points. The second assignment is your Chapter 11 assignment. And I'm going to say you have one of 2 ways you can do this. The first way you can do this is kind of connected because it talked a little bit about like careers and jobs. So this is going to ask you about resumes. So if you have a resume, okay, if you already have a resume, you can upload your resume for me. Now, if your resume is incomplete or it's out of date or you know it's not including all of these things right here, you can upload your resume and then just in the right submission area, kind of answer these questions for me. Okay, so if you have your resume and you're like, you know what, here's how my resume could get better, or here's more qualifications I think I need to add. So you can kind of use your resume and then address these questions as needed. If you do not have a resume, you do not have to create a resume. You are just answering these 2 questions. Okay, so you're going to answer them in about 3 to 5 sentences total. So you will go into the assignment, click Write Submission, and you're going to answer them right here. You're going to make a list of 5 experiences, 5 qualifications, and 3 references. And in terms of the references, they don't have to be the specific person's name. It can be my boss, a former teacher. You know, it can just be like their titles. And then what kind of job, internship, or other experience could you potentially have now in college that's going to help strengthen your resume? Okay, so again, if you do not have a resume, you do not have to create a resume. You're just going to answer these 2 questions. If you already have a resume, you can upload it and then just address if anything is missing from your resume from these 2 questions here. Just address it in the Write Submission area as well. And that is due also on Sunday, October 3rd. So turning in both of these assignments will wrap up your week as well as earn you week 5 attendance points. And if you have any questions while you work on this week, please feel free to reach out, and hope you have a great week.